Today we find ourselves in my small town southern kitchen. I originally had plans to spend some time outside, but because of the weather, we find ourselves inside. I'm going to be feeding my sourdough starter, water glassing eggs. Yes, those eggs are going to be shelf stable for up to 2 years. I'm going to be cleaning out my freezers, making room for a side of beef that will be getting soon, as well as making it where I can more effectively meal plan. I have a new kitchen gadget to share with you, and we're going to candle eggs.
Apple.
You have a little eyeball. Well, hey y'all. My plans for today have changed a little bit. Originally, I was going to go outside and work on cleaning out the greenhouse, getting it ready to start some seeds and get garden things going, and that does still have to be done. I had originally planned to do it yesterday afternoon, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to film anymore this afternoon. Let me wait. I'll do this tomorrow, and I'll film, and I'll let y'all come along and clean out the greenhouse with me. Well, I clearly did not look at the weather before making that decision. And well, let me just show you what it looks like outside today. It has been pouring rain pretty much all day long, and I could still get out and be in the greenhouse and be out of the rain, but I need to pull some things out of the greenhouse, straighten and tidy everything up, and then move things back in. And some of it needs to go out just to go out for good. So I'm not going to go out there today because it's raining and like 45 degrees. So that's going to wait, which is fine because there's some things in here that need to be done. So you can do that with me. I've gotten cracked up watching the chickens. They've been out free ranging, and they will, when it's just barely raining, they'll go out and they'll be all scattered around the yard. And if it starts, y'all can probably see them behind me. There's some of them out. And if it starts raining hard, they all run under the porch. And then you'll see them slowly sprinkle back out, and then they'll run under the porch. The coop door's open. They could go up there if they wanted to, but that's just what they've decided to do. So as you can see, or maybe you can see, I'm sitting here looking in my freezer. It's been probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had plans to organize, take inventory, straighten everything up in my freezer spaces, and it still hasn't happened. So like I said, this is the perfect opportunity to work on that today. I've also got an abundance of eggs to take care of. Some of these are going to get washed and go in the refrigerator. Some are going to stay out on the counter for us to pull from and use. Some I need to put in my water glass container. I did a video recently on water glassing. If you want to know more about it, that video went up on my other channel from Mama's Kitchen, but I can link it for you in the description box. So getting these in my water glass container is on my to-do list. The rest of these I would like to get washed and done something with, but if it needs to wait till tomorrow, it can. And I also need to feed my sourdough starter. I've got about 30 minutes before I got to go pick some kids up from ball practices. So I want to get my water glass eggs taken care of, my sourdough fed, and the freezer and my refrigerator cleaned out in 30 minutes. And then when I get back, I want to give myself about 30 minutes to do my deep freezer. Is that realistic? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I would like to get all these things on my list that I just told you done in an hour total. Let's see if it happens. I want to go ahead and get my sourdough starter fed. I'm going to be putting it in a fresh jar today. I don't always do this. I change the jar out every couple of weeks, maybe. But I decided I would go ahead and put it in a fresh jar today. I also do not always measure when I feed my sourdough starter. I've done this so many times that I just know what it looks like. But I had my scale out because I knew I was going to be using it for water glassing the eggs, making my mixture for that. So I thought, well, we'll just go ahead and we'll be exact, and I'll measure out my sourdough starter as well. I'm also trying bread flour for the first time. As much baking as I do sourdough and just baking in general, I don't know that I have ever purchased bread flour. I always use unbleached all purpose flour. That's what I grew up seeing used, and bread flour is just not one of those things that I had ever really seen anyone use. But I'm going to try it, and I'm a little anxious to see if the higher protein performs better. We're going to water glass some eggs, but first I have something I want to share with you. I wanted to tell you about this new gadget right here. Some of y'all have seen this sitting on my countertop, and let me just tell you, this may be my new favorite kitchen gadget. Let me show you. This is my new countertop ice maker. It's making a batch of ice right now, and this just sits right here on the countertop. Our family, we go through the ice between filling up our water bottles, kids playing sports, filling up water bottles, and the freezer, the ice maker in our freezer on our refrigerator. It just could not keep up with us. We were buying bags of ice from the store, which were bulky and taking up space, and needed a different solution. Hence the countertop ice maker. We've actually had this for a few weeks now because I really wanted to try it out before I told you what it was, what this red gadget sitting on my countertop is. I wanted to be able to tell you how it was working and if we liked it. We love it. I have figured out it takes somewhere between 6 or 7 minutes for it to make a batch of ice. It's what it's doing right now. And then it will drop the ice and scoop it into this basket. You put the water in right here under the basket. That's where it holds the water, and it has a little light. When the water level gets low, the light will come on and tell you it needs water. When the basket gets full, it has sensors right here, so once the ice gets up to there, it will stop making and it'll tell you that the ice is full. And it makes these beautiful little ice cubes, and it's a soft ice, which I like. And if any of the ice melts, it keeps it good and cold, but if any of it melts, it drips back down into that water reservoir. One of the coolest features about this thing too is it has a self-cleaning. So every so often you can just run the self-cleaning cycle on it and it cleans itself and is ready to go again. There's a little drain plug on the bottom. After the water cycles through for the cleaning, you drain that water out and put fresh water in, and it's good to go. So super easy to clean. And oh, hey y'all, look at this. It has a handle. So this summer when we go camping, this will be super handy to take with us camping, and we can make ice in the camper real easy. I'll put a link down in the description box if you want to check it out. If I have any other helpful information, I'll be sure to put that down in the description box. That way, if you're looking for something similar, highly recommend this one. Wanted to check it out for a while, use it for a little while so I could really tell you what we thought about it. We love it. Now back to these eggs. I mentioned earlier that I have a video dedicated to water glassing eggs, what this process looks like, how it works, all the ins and outs, and I'll link that down in the description box. What I'm doing though is taking some clean from the coop eggs. They've not been washed, they were just clean, didn't have any mud or anything on them when I gathered them. And they're going in my glass jar here, and then I'm going to make a pickling lime and water solution that I pour over the top of them, just making sure the egg is covered, and then it'll be good for up to 2 years in my pantry. The ratio is 1 ounce of pickling lime to 1 quart of water. I just needed to do about a half quart here to be able to finish filling up my jar. Just make sure the eggs are completely covered, and the calcium will seal off all the pores in the eggs and protect them. And that is called water glassing eggs. that's the short version of it. If you want to see the whole video, definitely check that out if it's something that you would be interested in. I love preserving things, and now that our chickens are picking up laying as the days get a little bit warmer, I'm making sure to put some eggs away so we'll have them come next winter when the chickens slow down laying again. I did not get to either of the freezers before I left to go pick kids up. I just had other things I had to take care of. I did get the water glass eggs in my jar. And I got my sourdough starter fed, our sourdough starter. Audrey does just as much sourdough as I do. And now that I'm back home, we'll tackle the freezers. And sometime in the next little bit, probably 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna start supper. And it's gonna be the pot sticker soup. Y'all have heard me rave about that. We're gonna have pot sticker soup. There we go. Having to change it up a little bit this time. I'll pin the recipe in a comment down below, and I'll also try to remember to link a video where we made it a little more in depth. We've been loving this soup, y'all. However, the store where I got some ingredients at didn't have pot stickers, or I couldn't find them, so I got cheese raviolis to put in it this time. And when I got them, that sounded like, oh yeah, that'll be great. And now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to turn out, so I'll have to let you know. I'm not going to lie, y'all. When I first opened my freezer door, I kind of thought about just shutting it back and ignoring it. But I've done that long enough. It's time to tackle this. So what I'm going to do is pull everything out. I'm going to wipe everything down. We're going to take inventory, and Audrey, my teenager, she actually loves doing these kinds of things and volunteered to help me. We're going to take inventory of everything that we have. That way we know where things are at, how much we have, and it will help us better utilize what we have in our freezers when it comes to meal planning. Things won't just get lost in the bottom of the freezer. But first, I need to go ahead and take everything out, wipe down surfaces, get things clean, and then we can decide what we're going to put where and kind of how we want things back in our freezers. That little tool you saw there is something that you use to clean, is it like a sliding glass door, the bottom of the sliding glass door, but it works really well on that little vent part at the bottom of the fridge as well. Y'all look at this. This was in the back of my freezer. That is my mama's handwriting. This is probably some of the last things that she helped Pawpaw preserve before she passed away. And yeah, it's just some now freezer burnt squash, but it's going to go right back in the back of my freezer so that I can hold on to it. Those kinds of things are really precious to me, and knowing that that's some of the last food that she helped preserve and it's got her handwriting on it, it's just really special to me. So it's going back in my freezer. Yeah, that right there is another one of those things that I've held on to. That is breast milk, and it said 2016. I think I have some in here from Hudson, Wyatt, and Fletcher. Those were my most successful breastfeeding experiences, and I don't know why I'm still holding on to it, because I can't throw it away, I guess. I actually wanted to get some jewelry made with some of it. You don't need that much, just a little bit, but yeah, it's still in my freezer, and guess what? It's going back in there too. Go on, call me crazy. It's okay, I probably am. I had definitely put this task off long enough, and y'all, it feels so good to have it done. Now the deep freeze, and we approached it the same way. We took everything out. Audrey was helping me. We put it all on the table and then sorted it, put all the meat together, the vegetables together. There were some things I wanted to move over to the other freezer. Just got it all organized, took inventory of everything, and then put it back in the freezer. And now my freezer probably needs to be defrosted, let it all thaw out and wipe it down and let it refreeze, but that was not happening today. I just needed to get everything out, do a real quick clean, and get things back in.
So we are putting it all back in now. I think I'm going to try to get some baskets so that I can stack things a little bit better. A chest freezer, y'all, the things on the bottom tend to get lost or forgotten about, which is why it's going to be nice to have my inventory list. We've talked here and there about getting a stand-up freezer. Justin and I have had that conversation a few times over the last, well, couple of years. But we haven't done that yet. I hear mixed reviews and opinions. Some people really like them because it's easier to get to the food and see what you have. And then some people say they don't freeze as well. So if you have a stand-up freezer, how does it work for you? Do you like it? How do you feel it compares to these chest freezers? I would love to know because it's something we've talked about. We've just not done it yet. All right, everything's back in and organized.
Audrey helped me out with the freezers. Yeah, I done went and stacked that paper and something. All right, I'm going to put these somewhere where I can keep up with them. We have both the freezers and labeled everything that's in there, how many we have of each. That way, as I pull something out, I can adjust the number if I add something in, and we know what we have. So when it comes time to plan for meals, we know what we have. So stuff doesn't get just lost in the bottom of the freezer. And I'm going to keep a list of what all we have and how many we have so that we can use it up and it just doesn't get lost in the freezer. We also made enough space in the deep freeze for the meat we'll be getting soon, the beef. Now I've already got supper sort of started. I have some of my frozen chicken broth and some water thawing out. I gotta get my cabbage chopped up, my carrots. Do I have carrots? We may not have carrots in it tonight. Anyway, I gotta get the other stuff ready to go in my pot and then finish up supper. And before we close out the video, I'm doing a whole separate video on these eggs in this here incubator and the incubation process, but we'll share a little clip of one of these eggs with you because today's the day that we get to candle them, which is where you put them up next to a light and see if anything's developing inside of the egg. Everybody's excited about that. Hudson's already come in here like 2 or 3 times and said, is it time to look at the eggs yet? Is it time to look at the eggs yet? So everybody's excited about that. I did have carrots. Looky there. Bring the carrot over here and you can put the carrots in. Go this way just a little bit. Put it in here, in the pot.
Leave it to me. I forgot to show you the soup as soon as it was done. This is after everyone had fixed their bowls and this is what was left. It was good with the cheese ravioli, but I'm going to tell you it's better with the pot stickers. That's pretty much what everyone said. Easton did say he liked it better with the cheese raviolis, but everybody else likes it better with the pot stickers.
There it is. You see it? Right by that dot.
That's cool.
Like,
It's adorable.
it's adorable. Oh, yeah, I can see it.
It moved. It's moving.
Don't forget to check the link in the description box if you're interested in this countertop ice maker.